Welcome to the Jesus.net channel where we explore life, faith, and Jesus together. Every week, our friend Pastor Grant Fishbook hosts a live Q&A where we respond to life questions from viewers just like you. Be sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button so you get all the latest content and you know when we're going live. Now, listen as Pastor Grant responds to a few featured questions that you might be asking too. Cassandra asks a really serious question.
Okay.
And she says, I hear a lot of young people saying they're atheists now, even though they've been baptized. Where does their soul go?
Well, that's a tough question, but
Yeah.
let's dive into it, okay? So there are a lot of young people these days who are doing something called deconstructing, which means they're frustrated with their faith because they don't believe that their faith is actually working. Now, here's my issue with that. My issue with that is normally the reason faith isn't working is because they've never fully put their faith in God. The truth is they wanted God as an insurance policy for eternity, but they weren't willing to hand over and to surrender everything to the lordship of Jesus. Jesus is our Savior, yes, but then the full cost of discipleship is that we'll take up our cross daily and follow him, and that demands complete and full surrender. And so they have mistaken church for a relationship with Jesus. Church is beautiful, but it's not a relationship with Jesus. They have come to God in prayer. They've asked things. The problem is they haven't asked for his will to be done. They basically gave God a list and said, if you don't check these boxes, then I don't think you love me, which is not the way prayer works or the way God works. God is king. We are subservient to him, and it means we're supposed to seek his will. We can ask for the desire of our heart, but peace comes from when we ask and then are willing to accept whatever God's will is for our life. I want to remind people, Jesus came to the Father and said, is there any way this cup can pass from me? And the answer ultimately was no. And so Jesus responded with these words, thy will be done. So people, young people especially, are deconstructing because they're really disillusioned with the church. They're disillusioned with their own faith because I don't believe they've been doing faith correctly all the way along. And so now they are deciding to go their own way. And the truth is, like I said before, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me. So even if a young person has been baptized and been very sincerely following at one time, and now they say they are an atheist, here are some things that I know for sure. First of all, I know there's a parable in Scripture where it says Jesus left the 99 sheep. It doesn't say he left them alone. It just says he left them probably under the care of other under shepherds, and he went after the one, which means this. That young person who now says they're an atheist, you've just welcomed the pursuit of the God of heaven, and he will continue to pursue you your entire life. You have tasted of how good he can be. You've decided now to reject that. So God is going to treat you in a way of incredible grace, which means he's going to continue to pursue you because he wants you back. The story of the prodigal son is a beautiful picture, right? Here's a young man who went off on his own, disavowed everything that he knew of his father, and ended up in a pig pen, which for a young Jewish boy, which we assume would be the case within this parable, is a horrible place to be. And then one day, this is the beautiful part of it, he comes to his senses and goes home to his father, and his father has been waiting for him. And instead of showing up and saying, I cannot believe you disavowed our family, I can't believe you disgraced us, instead it says, what? He wraps a robe around him, he puts a ring on his finger, and he throws a party because the prodigal son has come home. I'm not the one to judge the specific part of where that young person's soul is. I do know this, the Hebrews chapter 6 has some very serious words about people who have disavowed their relationship with God. And I think we need to take those words very seriously. That's called apostasy. That's not simple backsliding. That's when you ask God to revoke your salvation. And I think you should think very, very seriously before you do that. But I also know this, and this is the amazing thing about God. Even to someone who has gone that far, God still continues to pursue.
Yeah.
And he pursues and pursues. I got to pray with a young man on Sunday morning who said, I was once a deeply devoted Jesus follower. And then I walked away from everything. I completely disappeared. His question was whether or not he'd committed the unpardonable sin, because he said, I've said horrible things to God. And I said, what I can know is this. I said, if you're still alive, if you're not dead, God's not done.
Yeah.
And he gave his heart back to Jesus on Sunday morning at the altar at the front of Christ the King Community Church, tears streaming down his face. I got to bear hug him, and I just kept saying, welcome home. Welcome home. And so I think we need to hold on. Just because somebody's professing one thing does not mean God is done with that story. And we have a responsibility as followers of Jesus to continue to pursue them in the same way that the Son is pursuing them. We need to love them. We need to hear their questions. We need to sit with them. We need to talk with them. We need to reason with them. We need to we can't just withhold relationship. We actually need to go deeper into relationship, because maybe God can use us to give them that moment of clarity so that they'll find their way back home. That's my heart.
Prayer matters so much.
Oh, doesn't it?
Oh, my gosh. We hear miracle stories like that. We call it a miracle every day because we really do hear about miracles all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I tell people, look, here's the deal. If you've got a praying grandma, just give up. Like, don't even bother fighting it. It's not
true.
worth fighting. If you're trying to fight the prayers of a grandma, do you honestly think you're going to win that battle? Not a chance. So my grandma prayed me into the ministry, and I love her for doing it. And I'll tell you what, there were days when she must have been wondering what in the world, but God was faithful. He heard her prayer. And I finally had a moment in my life when I came to my senses and found my way back. And I'll tell you what, the story of the prodigal son is true.
Well, hey everyone, and thanks again for watching. For more questions like this and other content from Jesus.net, be sure to hit that subscribe button below. You can also subscribe to daily encouragement emails at miracle.jesus.net. We'd love to see you again soon on another episode of Ask Grant Live.